was a mix of things. I would say not so great, but yet very experiential. Having been that I didn't live with my mom for a very long time. I live with my grandma. I live with my step aunties because my mom was always out there working out of town. So life dealt some cards. However, now here I call them experiential because if it hadn't been any of that, I don't think I'll even be doing the food business to begin with. Because I learned how to cook and to take care of like a very big family at a very early age. So cooking came naturally to me. I enjoyed cooking, one, and two, it was one of the house chores for me. It gave me a fundamental of how to rally people because at that age, I think I was 26 when I was an HR manager, and having to lead and actually even appraise people older than me, it actually groomed me for what I'm doing today and managing a huge team. In the HR space with my market research company, I started struggling with my weight. On a bad day, I'm a UK 20. So that was when I went back into the kitchen because I had to take my life into my own hands because I did all the workouts. I'm a workout freak. If it's energy to work out, I have the energy. You know, one of those people that you work out but we don't shred, then you end up bulking because you're not managing the 80% that you're supposed to do of the hard work, which is the food. So I have the energy to go to the gym as many times as I can, but I wasn't seeing results because the core problem was my eating habits. So that was when I went back to the kitchen because I know how to play with food and I wanted to enjoy the things that I love because I realized that I've done dieting, I've fallen off the wagon, so I have to do it differently. Portion control, just knowing the right things to cook and how to just balance the diet. So I started cooking for myself and juggling my 8 to 5. With time, people started seeing results, and before I knew it, that was what even brought me to social media because I started getting people inviting me for interviews because it was very drastic. And it was one picture I posted on Facebook about 11 years ago, which was from my size 20 down to a size 10. And it was so obvious. The difference was so vast. In 6 months, you were this big, and then what did you do differently? I got interviews, and then I shared my story that, it's nothing wild than eating even the things we all enjoy, our Ghanaian meals, but portion control and the way you cook them. It got me some platform and some audience, strangely. And on one of those interviews, I was interviewed by a very renowned woman. She's the Queen Mother of Henry Gifty Auntie, a woman, a phenomenal woman, a woman that every young woman in Ghana looks up to. She's a big deal in media. And she told me, would you actually meal prep me? At that moment, I seized it as an opportunity. I said yes. She was like, I'll pay you for it. I said yes, live on TV. And I realized that I've put a challenge out there. Now that you have said this, you have to be accountable because it's being aired. And that was what ventured me into food business. She was my first client. I meal prepped for her. And unknown to me, she was actually about to get married. So we did this weight loss thing together, and she looked, I believe, the perfect girl for a wedding day. And she just gave me this huge platform. She never seized the opportunity to highlight my meals that I share with her. She'll take pictures. Even though she's paying me, she paid me real money, no discounts, none of that. And at the same time, she posted, I got this from NyoNyo. Clients started coming in. Before I knew it, I wasn't a certified nutritionist, but I was a hardcore nutritionist on the street, and I was doing meal prep for like-minded people pursuing the same journey as I was. It was on one weird scenario that I had a challenge at work, and my then boyfriend, now my husband, asked me, yo, look at the numbers coming in. If you have nothing to actually weigh your options on, the numbers will never lie. And he's a number person. He works with data. He looked at the data, he looked at the retention of the client. So it wasn't like every day you're even trying to chase new clients. It's like the existing ones are doing the ads for you and they are still with you. So that tells you that you are doing something very substantial. I just said, you know what, let me take this leap of faith and pursue it full time. That was 10 years ago. And we are here, and it's just an exciting yet a very challenging ride, but I'm enjoying it because I didn't pursue restaurants. Restaurants found me. I even ran away from restaurants. I did a catering job for Gwen Adu Hair Center when she was opening her flagship store. She's also one of the women that I really look up to. She's like a big sister to me. She hired my services. I did a catering, very healthy options for a flagship store. And one gentleman ate something there. I started asking her, who did that food? I need to meet that caterer. And she called me. She was like, this person has been asking for your number. So please just schedule a meeting with him because I think he has something good for you. I took the number. I never called. I was at a car wash. I was washing my car. And this man walks up to me. He looked very familiar. I was like, I've never met you. He cracked his head and was like, I think I saw you at Gwen's event. You did the catering. I've been looking for your number. I've been asking of you. I'm like, oh, so you're the one. I have your number. I'm so sorry I've never called. And he was like, you know what? Your food is tasty. I've been places. I like to serve raw stuff. I'm actually a chef. I've owned restaurants in Europe, you name them. And I know when I taste good food. I have an opportunity for you if you take the offer. I have a restaurant up here in East Legon. And East Legon is creme de la creme. So where I opened my flagship store the very first time, typically the first year I wouldn't have been able to afford it because it's $2,000 a month. And this man waved a few things off and said, you know what, I just want you to start because I see a future in where you're headed. He was so heavily invested. I was so shocked. I had to go like, I hope it's not one of those things. So I had to involve my husband because I said, I hope it's not, no, I don't want any funny thing. So he said, no, bring your husband. So the negotiation and everything now was my husband, who I never signed anything. I never went to any of the meetings apart from the car wash. He dealt solely with my husband. And true to his word, he was a man of integrity. He just trusted and believed in me. And he gave us the place. We ran it up for 5 years. And it just opened a new world to us that the restaurant business is actually what is sustainable because it's everyday money. Even if it's a peso or a penny you are making and it's consistent cash flow and you have the right team and you are set in your skills and your recipe is standardized, you are doing right by customer experiences, you are good to go, it will fly. Because you can do a recipe, standardize it, tell them how to go about it, but if you're not there, you know, Africans have ancestral beliefs. It's all ask salt. I've been cooking now. I know how to cook. Before you know, they are plastering things, and one day it's nice, tomorrow it's not nice. But for some reason, God brought a different breed of people who listen and they are teachable. Because some are chefs. I'm not a chef. So some are certified and I am. But for them to believe in my leadership and believe that this is what NyoNyo Jollof should taste like, and they've owned it and they are running with it consistently. It's a story that, I mean, I can't just take all the praise for myself because truly, if it's not that they were teachable people or team players, we wouldn't have been here. So they just took NyoNyo somewhere else, and I'm so excited for what we are building together. What motivates me to be successful? The fear of not being able to actually give my children the life they deserve. That is one. Then if you ask me to tell you in a professional diplomatic manner, I'll say impact. But impact starts from home, right? Nurturing starts from home. And I want to give these kids the best. Because like I told you, my childhood experience weren't so great. And I don't want any of the things I experienced for them to experience. Because some of them, it's just because of financial issues. Some of them, it's just because of, I don't want to say poverty, but just because there weren't enough resources. That is why life dealt those cards. So one, my kids. And also to give them an example that it is possible. I want my daughter to look at mom and go like, yes, it is possible. I can attain everything I put my mind to. So this is why I want to be successful. This is the only reason that motivates me to be successful. All I changed about my educational background, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because I genuinely took a course that I was interested in from even secondary school. I knew I wanted general arts, and that's what I got. Two moments I'll never forget. Let me start with the not so great one. Is losing my first set of twins. I've been pregnant 3 times, and 3 times has been twins, not IVF. Yes, 3 times. So I can never forget that. At the same time, too, it always reminds me that God is real. Because the second one was an attempt on my life. The fact that I was able to make it in the hospital in that time, and the fact that I could talk and make sense of the situation because I had blacked out. It was pitch black, and I was telling the doctors, I cannot see anything. I was still talking because they were like, no, how? So that is one. It's a reminder that God is real and He's faithful to the end. What He starts, He sees it through. And the other one would be a good one. It was the day my husband proposed. Even not the main proposal, but the day he told me, you'll be my wife. And it's weird. I was 20. I've dated him. We dated for close to 8 years. We were married for 9 years. I met him when I was 19. When I was 20, he gave me a promise ring and told me, I will marry you. And I knew he was truthfully telling me something from the core and the depth of his heart. It's such a memorable day, and I'm sure he'll be shocked to hear this, because for someone at that young age, because we are age mates, we are course mates, for him to say that and mean it and tell his mom, it's just so, I'm a sucker for love. So I just ignite something in me. Anytime I remember, I'm like, this guy has been true to his word.